day begun by a few people, former students from Goldsmiths turned up early, and so I decided to take them for a quick walk on the mud so that they could kind of get the feel for it. And it was really funny because it's like trying to be able to walk on the mud is quite an experience, and they got kind of stuck and everything else. And we went out to Two Tree, and that was a kind of a really beautiful beginning for me. It was like being able to show people that I'd worked with for a few years, kind of what it was like where I live, and what it was like out on the mud. So the idea of the day was really, what I wanted to do was kind of strip the back of the boat off, kind of like I had all these grand plans for how the day would work. And then the night before I thought, oh, hang on a minute, that's really dangerous. I can't really give people an angle grinder and start them cutting nails and removing decks. And and Fran had a huge amount to do trying to prepare lunch for people. So we scaled down our vision of what it was going to be, and I just decided to have a really good day and share with people, the souvenir, the wreck of the souvenir, share with people the food that Fran was doing. And it seemed then that the best thing to do was to move cockles, which is called shram, from the beach of the boat club, because they needed clearing anyway, move them from there, move them to the drain, which is the grey water drain from Lee Hill, and then move them over the drain, and then surround the boat with cockle shram, so that basically when we walk on it we wouldn't get full of mud. And that seemed like a really interesting exercise to do with everyone, because everyone could get a feel for it, but no one was in danger. Getting on the boat itself was pretty dangerous, because it hadn't been made safe at all. And so we got everyone over there. There were 3 groups. One was doing the digging, one was running it up ramps, one was shoveling it across the other side, and then people were carrying it out to the boat. And James had the difficult task of filming 4 separate things going on simultaneously. And this film is as a result of his work, his hard work on the day. So Fran was going to have his first go at making forage food, experimenting with presenting the kind of ecological and political aspect of the food. And so he spent a long time preparing that and going out and foraging very early in the morning to bring back the elements that we ate. And so whilst we was all moving shram, he was setting up the tables. We cooked skate with coal that was caught at the same time as the fish. The people that came down, there was a lot of local people, some local artists, some local people from the Belton Way Small Craft Club and their relatives. And then there were also like ex-students from the past 7 years came down from Goldsmiths to kind of spend the day. And so there was a whole different kinds of collections of people coming together. And it was really interesting because at first I thought that maybe the people in the boat club, a lot of ex-fishermen and other local people, weren't really chatting to the people from London. But then I slowly began to discover that there were odd people just sitting in the club. There was odd people sitting under the hut. And there was all kinds of levels of engagement with, you know, people from China, people from, you know, like different parts of the world, having these very tiny but kind of quite intimate conversations about the estuary and what life was like there, and about the kinds of foods. So that was really enjoyable, and it was a way of bringing the two parts of our life together, because one part of our life is teaching and working in London, and the other part is you know, kind of living in Leigh-on-Sea and trying to make projects that are important to local activity. So the day was really about bringing those bits together.